There's a thing though that I think, and this is probably a spicy take, but my spicy hot take on Final Fantasy is that there's a problem with Final Fantasy that I think actually makes 6, 7, and 8 the worst Final Fantasy games. And I know. Ooh, yeah, I see the eyebrows. I see that. Everyone's like, no, there's no way. But listen, here's the thing.
That is singing the garden, wishing God's defeat.
We are back with another installment of Kill Feed. I'm Mike.
I'm James.
And following the release of their new albums, The Screaming of the Valkyries, we are joined by Cradle of Filth guitarist Donny Burbage. Donny, thank you for taking the time for us.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. No problem, dudes. What's up?
All right. Starting off from the very beginning, what was your very first gaming experience?
My first gaming experience, my mom bought me an NES when I was 2 years old. And I played Zelda, and I played Mario on it. And I still have that NES. It's in my living room, and it's still hooked up. It works. My dad had to modify it, so that way, because like after a while, like the little cartridge, like it goes in, it kind of like has a little bit of play over time. So he took this like metal bar and just like put it in there. So mine's actually modified to where like I can just shove it in there. I don't have to push it down for the game to work. It just works.
Have you ever modded any other consoles, or was that just kind of like a one and done thing?
The first thing I ever soldered in my life was my Sega Genesis, and I was in 3rd grade. It stopped working, and I wanted it to work, and I wanted to play, I think, Vector Man. I can't remember, but anyway, it's probably Vector Man. That was like my favorite game back in the day. Yeah, it was my Sega Genesis. I have the original old one. I got the Sega CD attachment on it. We went to a Radio Shack. This is like back in the day when you could like buy parts from Radio Shack. And then basically we bought like a capacitor, and that was what was wrong with the blown cap in it. And my dad taught me how to solder that day. As far as like modifying them, no, I haven't really modified any consoles, I think. Nothing like that. I've just fixed mine. That's about it. But I modify like other electronics and stuff like that now because of it. So kind of taught me how to solder. It's cool.
I was going to say, did that experience kind of like help you with, I don't know, pedals or any of your guitar equipment in the future?
Oh, yeah, 100%, dude. I do all my own stuff for all my guitars. I literally do everything on my own guitars before I tour or do a show or something like that. But I found that it was a lot easier for me to like modify pedals or to modify the electronics in my guitar to achieve the sound that I'm hearing in my head versus buying something and going, nope, and then returning it, and then buying something and going, nope, and then selling it. And then, you know, just, it was like, if I just learn like what it is that I want it to do, and I can just modify this simple one, then I can get it to do something close to what I wanted to do. And that's exactly what happened. It just, you know, rolled over. That skill came over and just helped me out with a lot of stuff. Being an electric guitar player has been pretty beneficial, being a video game nerd.
So what you're saying is that your early obsession with Vector Man literally gave you a career.
That game is about like modified robots too, ain't it? I didn't even realize that until now.
Well, what were the series that really kind of hooked you into video games? Like, at what point when you were a kid did video games go from a toy to a passion?
I don't remember. I have no idea, because it was, as long as I can remember, it's what I've always done. I remember the first game I beat, and it was Super Mario World, and I don't even remember how old I was, but it was 1995. Maybe 94. I can't remember. Something like that. And I just remember like that, like, what? Like, just like my mind being blown that I beat a game ever in my life, you know, because I mean, like, you know, like, I mean, relatively speaking, like games back in the day were like way, way harder than they are for most games now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still chase that kind of like crushingly difficult game kind of play that where like you it takes you like 40, 50 tries before you beat it and you go, oh, this, and it just feels so euphoric. I'm still a big fan of that. And so, but I have no idea. I don't know. It was all I ever did when I was a kid until I started skateboarding, and then I would play video games and skateboard, and then I started playing guitar when it rained, and I couldn't do either, and I was bored as a kid because I just kind of like I only, you know, like I only got a video game for like Christmas or my birthday. Like that was it. So I had to make sure it counted. So I would buy like the biggest, longest game I could, you know, like some massive RPG or something, you know. I was like,
So in an interview with Serena Cherry for Guitar World, You stated that you got serious about playing guitar after you got bored playing Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Was there a lull in interest with video games in general when you started getting serious with guitar, or were games always present in your life?
Games were always present in my life. I do not remember a moment ever not playing a video game or having a gaming console or even having a computer. I remember living in Bermuda when I was a kid, and this would have been like from 1990 until 95, and we had a Commodore 64. I remember that. I also remember that you could get these like magazines, and it had code, and you could just type out the code, and you could play a game that was in the magazine, and that was a cool thing.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
Oh, it was awesome, dude. It was back in the day like that. It was cool, man. It was awesome. Like, imagine just someone having a magazine where it just gives you like Python or something or C+. Whatever.
Right.
You just make a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, just copy it down, just go for it. And like, this is cool.
Oh, I'm sure all these publishers would be stoked for their developers to be handing out all their code willy-nilly.
Yeah, dude.
Do you remember any of the games? I mean, obviously they weren't exactly Skyrim here, but do you remember any of the games that you were able to type out and play?
There was one called Space Taxi, and it was like these platforms. This dude would like be like, "Hey, taxi," like that, and you would have to go pick him up, and you had this like kind of like taxi cab that would go from platform to platform, and it had like these like weird kind of like physics, almost like asteroids or something like that. And so it was like, you know, just like weird, and you had to like go pick these people up and take them to different platforms. That was one of them. I remember there was like one that was like crazy long, and it was like some stripped, dumbed down version of like Dragon's Lair that didn't look anything like Dragon's Lair from the arcade. It just looked like a really like crappy 2D like pixelated, you know, it was a Commodore 64, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like green.
Yeah.
Like it was like the color of the screen was just green.
You mean a Commodore 64 couldn't handle fully rendered animations like Disney-style movies back in the
It's
day?
60 frames per second.
Dude, they actually have a working Dragon's Lair arcade at this pinball museum near my house here in Asheville. It is awesome, dude. It's super, super cool. And there's only like 70 left in the world or something like that, too. So,
Do you still frequent arcades? Like, do you still check them out from time to time, or is that just kind of like a fun bit of trivia?
no, I do every now and then. Like, if someone's in town, and so like Yuka from Amon Amarth, they played Asheville sometime last year. And so I met up with him. He had a day off, right? And then the next day they're playing. So I met up with him, and I was like, let's go get some food, and we'll just go hang out and do stuff. And I took him to that pinball museum. And it's cool because they have pinball machines from the like 70s, 80s, 90s. They have like the massive Hercules one, stuff like that. They have like all these rare ones. They have like the old Star Wars one as well, which is really cool. And you can play them. Like most of them you can play, like the majority of them. But they have a little arcade in the back also. And it's just like tons of just old 80s like arcade machines, just like legit ones and stuff like that. They have like the old Star Wars one too. It's a spot I take my like people that I know from out of town. I go, yo, there's this really cool barcade here. Let's go to this.
Do you ever check them out when you're on tour?
Oh yeah. If there's like a mall and it has like an arcade in it, I'll do that. And Danny will go with me also. He'll do that as well. You know, my guitar tech Anthony will do that with me also. We'll just go and we'll check out an arcade or something like that. But typically if there's like a day off and there's like a mall and it has an arcade in it. There was one in Mexico recently, but I don't remember what city I was in, but it was cool looking, but ironically the power like went out. And I was like, oh
the
no.
one thing
And
that you need.
This was also the show where the power was not working at the venue, so I was just like, I wonder if those things are like related. You know, I don't know, but
I throw this out there. I haven't been there yet. Have you been to the Galloping Ghost in Chicago?
no. What's the Galloping Ghost?
Ooh. So this is one that I've heard about, and now Instagram is aggressively advertising to me. I haven't confirmed this, but they describe themselves as the largest arcade in the world, and they have a list of every like machine that they have, and they have a lot of rare ones, but the only one that I care about is the Silent Hill arcade. They say that they have one, but I've heard that it doesn't work.
Oh,
But like, I'm wholeheartedly planning a trip to Chicago just to go to this place.
I'm in Chicago quite often. I gotta figure out where exactly this is at because I play there quite a bit. It's
I
called
will
the
send you
Galloping
that
Ghost. You
profile.
said. Galloping Ghost. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find it on the internet. It's one of the ones that gets kicked around on YouTube and stuff at least a bit.
I'm sure my phone heard me say it, so it's going to start
Yeah.
aggressively advertising.
Yeah.
You'll get an ad for it. Like as soon as you finish this, you'll look at check a text message and pop over to Instagram and get an advertisement for it right away.
Yeah. Immediately.
What's your go-to machine?
My go-to machine is usually Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is my go-to machine. Or if I see like Turtles in Time. That's like the two that is my go-to. And I had the Sega version when I was a kid, so it was called Hyperstone Heist, but it was like
Yeah,
the
I
same
remember
thing.
that. Yeah, I remember it was slightly different. And playing that one versus the Super Nintendo one and being blown away that there were like tiny differences. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
You've mentioned a couple of older franchises, but do you find yourself continually interested in some of those same older franchises, whether it's, the Turtles or Star Wars or whatever else, Street Fighter?
Yeah, I do. I'm also a big fan of like newer games that are developed that have like a kind of like a vintage classic vibe to it or something like that. So, like for instance, I played in a band called Aether Realm, and I'm really good friends with Eric W. Brown. Both those guys composed music for Sea of Stars.
We spoke to him.
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah, he's great.
Yeah. I mean, like it's. I'm really into like the kind of like old school, like Super Nintendo graphics kind of stuff. Mostly, I think the thing about that is I feel like that art style just it ages better. You go and you play like THQ wrestling games from the N64, and you look and you're like, oh, that looks terrible. But you go play like Yoshi's Island 2 or something like that on N64, it's like that looks amazing. Still, it still looks awesome. It still looks super super cool. So I think that art style kind of like stands the test of time better than trying to make something look super realistic.
Especially with RPGs, I think they could have done like another, I don't want to say like full console generation, but it seemed like some of them kind of jumped the gun on leaping immediately to 3D as fast as possible, Whereas some of those, I think that they had done another, I don't know, entry in a series in kind of that older traditional style, it would hold up really well rather than those rough days of 3D.
Yeah, so like Final Fantasy VII, right? Like, because like Final Fantasy VII, the arms look weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just looks terrible. Great game. Absolutely amazing storyline. Pretty good soundtrack. Final Fantasy VIII kind of looks a little bit better, but like it's just, like the resolution of it just looks like shit. But like you got, you're getting what you get out of it. Soundtrack's amazing also. Junction system required you to like know calculus as a kid, which is like impossible, but like you could break the game, which to me, knowing how to break it now, I'm like, oh, I like this game so much more actually, just because it's so easily broken, but it's kind of like, it reminds me of like playing like D&D or something, and you're just like a min-max master is what you are. Like that's what Final Fantasy VIII feels like to me. I love that game for that reason. The story to me falls off by disc 3, but disc 1 and 2 are ridiculously good. And remember, I only got a video game for Christmas and my birthday. So if that game was like 3 discs or 4 discs long, I'm like, Mom, I want that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
were you lucky enough that your birthday was like in the middle of the year, so you could at least like space it out?
Yes,
I was. My birthday
6 months apart. Yeah,
my birthday's in May, so it's the 5th month. Yeah, my birthday's in May. I was super lucky, dude.
Hell yeah. Before we go down this rabbit hole any further, what are the games that you've been playing lately, and what are the kinds of games that you prefer to play?
I've been playing Pokemon ZA, which I like to jokingly refer to as Za, because I hate when people call pizza Za. But I think it's also one of those days where I'm just going to start saying it jokingly, and then eventually I'm just going to be stuck saying it.
Sticks.
And then it just sticks with you, and you're like, now that guy, I've been playing that. I have been playing Final Fantasy VIII also on my Switch. I recently beat it in 15 hours, and I'm like, maybe I could learn how to speedrun this? Just because I just know that game so well. It's just one of those weird games. Other than that, whenever I have like a bad time or I'm feeling stressed out and I need to like play something to kind of like relieve some anxiety or just like something comforting to me, my go-to comfort game is literally Dark Souls. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but like 100%, that's my comfort game for me. That's my jam.
I still ascribe to the idea that Dark Souls is tough, but Dark Souls is fair. And it's so like, as soon as you understand the math behind Dark Souls and you understand that you can't approach it the same way as every other game,
yes,
it's not as bad as people say.
You gotta know Dark Souls math. Yeah, you have to.
Once you realize exactly like kind of what the game's looking for from you, like in the early part of the game when you fight, what's his name, Havel, the guy with the big dragon.
Havel, yeah, Havel, yeah.
Okay, I can roll around this guy, backstab him, no problem. But when you make that mistake and roll the wrong way and crushes you in one hit and you die, you're like, yeah, I had that coming.
Yeah, it punishes you for the mistake. It really does, doesn't it? And it's weird because like once you see it, you start to realize you're like, that was my fault. I rolled in this way instead of I should have rolled towards them or should have rolled to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you realize the mistake you made. Also, killer soundtrack. And me being a musician, like I'm really gravitated towards stuff like that. But the other thing about Dark Souls that I like so much is Dark Souls math. Yeah, that's one thing. But I like when I have someone who's never played Dark Souls play Dark Souls for the first time. And I kind of have told people that I think Dark Souls is kind of like an ayahuasca trip. You need like a spirit guide to kind of tell you what to do and to guide you a little bit through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise you're gonna have a bad fucking time.
There's the full quote. Dark Souls is like an ayahuasca trip.
I guess not, but are you opposed to guides when it comes to
I'm not opposed
games?
to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it depends if you want to just play the game and enjoy the game for the story. Do you want to play the game and enjoy the game for the complexity and the combat system and actually overachieve and overcome something? It's up to you. You know, it's kind of like whatever you want out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a pizza with different toppings on it. You know, it's fine.
We're not here to yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's fine. You know, and Dark Souls for me. I like to do like any Soulsborne game. I like to do like one time, just raw, like nothing, just stumble through it and just get the shit kicked out of me like nonstop over and over again. Second playthrough, I like try to like maybe go through and like figure things out and like go through a guide or something like that and like check things off or like try to like 100% certain things, like get like all these specific items or something like that. That's how I like to do it. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time is me just like, I'm going to try a different build, or I'm going to do something stupid, or I'm going to see if I can skip these things. And, you know, and it's just, yeah. And I find like there's certain things that I like specifically. For me, a Soulsborne game there's a definitive experience for it. It's like if it's your first time playing it, it's like a definitive build that you have to do. And for me, it's strength build is like the definitive Souls experience.
Yeah.
Like strength build
definitely.
is like you got to get in there and you got to learn how to dodge and you got to hit and you got to be patient. And that is it. You know what I'm saying? Like strength build is like the definitive Souls experience, you know? It's not the hardest and it's not the easiest builds, but like those games, they're as hard as you want them to be. But if you don't know your Souls math, it's crushing. It's crushingly hard.
I know that the dex stat is like the broken stat. Like that's really where you can pump a lot of points into and it'll help you out in the long run so you don't have to be just pure strength. But every time I play a Souls game, I lie to myself every time and I'm just like, you know what, this time, maybe I will be a pyromancer. Maybe I will be like, you know, an intelligence build or something. And every fucking time I'm just like, just give me the bonk. I just want the big heavy axe.
If they didn't make the bonk like so easily accessible early on in every game, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like Dark Souls 1, you just run to pick up the Zweihander like immediately, like right away. You know what I'm saying? You can shoot the tail off of the dragon at the bridge and get like the broken weapon that lasts you a while until like you get to the end game, but you can at least kill the Gwyn's Dark Knights or whatever they're called, and then get the Dark Knight sword, and then you're gravy, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need anything else. You're good to go. You know, hell, you can find the Claymore on the bridge with that dragon, and that can carry the whole game. Like, every Claymore in every Soulsborne game has always carried me through every game, and then eventually I get like the big, you know, bonk swinging boy or something like that. But there was a Pyromancer build in Dark Souls 1 that's actually really good, but you have to get, and you can actually get the what's it called? The Muramasa, something like that. Sword. There's a vendor you kill and you get it.
Yeah, early in the game, yeah, you kill that guy. Yeah.
But see, it's a dex-based weapon. But in Dark Souls 1, like your spell cast time is based upon your dex also. That's cracked with Pyromancer build. Like that is broke as hell. But it's super fun to play. I'll say that. It's super, super fun to play. But yeah, I mean, strength build, man, is just.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've done the Pyromancer run through. It's different. It's interesting, but man, just give me that big two-handed great axe. We just hammer stuff. Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah.
But earlier you brought up music. So would you say that video game music played a hand in you getting interested in music in the beginning?
Yes, I can tell you a very embarrassing thing about myself, and I don't remember if I've told anyone this before. I may have.
I think I know what story you're about to tell.
Is it the lyric one? Yes. Okay. All right. So I heard that you were a good I heard that you do your research, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just get ahead of the game on this one. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get ahead of the game on this. All right. So when I was a kid, I used to play Sonic the Hedgehog a lot, and like other video games. I'm sure I did with other video games. I remember doing it with like Sonic the Hedgehog the most as a kid, and I would like just sit there and not move Sonic, and the music would start, and I thought it was just cool sounding, and I would write lyrics to the melody line of these songs and stuff, and that's what I did for entertainment when I had beaten a game too many times and it was not Christmas yet.
What kind of would you write lyrics that were involved like in world, or was it just like kind of random other things like?
Oh, it was mostly like depressing stuff for like really depressing for like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a very depressing kid, I think. I would also write goofy, silly songs though, like just like really comedy stuff. I had always, honestly, I'm surprised that I don't do like musical comedy in some way, but like that is something that I do enjoy a lot. Like musical comedy, music comedians I like a lot, but like I used to just write these like really silly, dumb songs, and I would write them about my friends also. So like I had this friend, his name was Pete Bushy was his name, and I remember when he told me his last name because I was like, wait, so on like the SAT, it's just Bushy Pete is what you write, and he was like, yes, and I was like. And everyone started laughing because no one had realized that at all. But like immediately once he told me his name, that's just where my brain went with that. It's just flipped them and it's Bushy Pete. And I don't know why that's funny, but it's funny.
Do your earnings from Cradle of Filth these days now contribute to Bushy Pete's therapy?
No, you know what they go towards? Magic the Gathering cards. That's what they go towards. My earnings literally go to Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh, jeez. Interview just...
No! Did we end the interview? Is that what we did? You guys hate Magic the Gathering? Oh, okay, good.
No,
I thought I messed
opposite.
up. Are we getting into it? Are we doing the thing?
We're doing the thing, I guess. All right. So on tour, you get this thing called a per diem.
Yes.
Of course.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. That's your pay for the day to help buy your food. And I don't do that. I just buy Magic the Gathering cards. You know, honestly though, like I'm not big on Commander. I'm more of a standard player. Because I feel like if you played Magic for like a long time, like Standard was like, that was the thing, you know what I'm saying? And we would play EDH like just to kind of waste time in between matches or, you know, stuff. That's what we used to do. But like, I Magic the Gathering's been like this like off and on thing for me for a long time. So I do have a gap. And I remember this very vividly where I stopped playing it in like 2002. I think it was right after Urza's Legacy or something like that. I think it was right around then. I got back into it in 2012. 2012, yeah. And I was like doing some stuff at school, music. I went to college late, okay? I graduated in 2005, but like I went to college like super late. So it was like 2012, and like I would go to this Magic. There's like this card game shop that was in this town called Greenville, North Carolina. There was a guy there. The place is called Blue Ox Games. It's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. A bunch of dudes that play there. Like they'll play Friday Night Magic, stuff like that. They're like pro tour winners and like they write for Star City Games and you know stuff like that. And when you play them, it's like they're playing a different game than you're playing for some reason, but they're that good. But like I just remember like the first time going to the shop and be like, man, I'm just gonna get back into this, dude. And then I talking to this dude named Harry. He owned the store, and he let me borrow a deck, and I was like, cool. And I'm like shuffling and like just going to play Friday night with some dudes, and this dude pulls out this thing and it's a Planeswalker, and I was like, what's a Planeswalker card? What is that, dude? Like, what? I got out of it in like 2013 again, right? I played a game of Commander with a friend of mine who plays in a band called Planeswalker. My brain just goes Planeswalker, Texas Ranger for some reason. But like, I don't know why. That's why I stopped for that second when I said Planeswalker, and I went, wow, like Walker, Texas. Anyway, so he plays in this band called Planeswalker, and it's he has this thing where it's called like Can I Play with Magic? And it's like Can I Play with Madness by Iron Maiden, but it's Can I Play with Magic? And he has this thing where he has like guests come and you just play Magic and you play Commander with like 4 other dudes, right? 3 other dudes, I guess, him included, and yourself, 4 total. So anyway, I did that and I hadn't played in forever, so I just bought like a pre-con Commander deck. And I was like, dude, I haven't played EDH since like 2011 or something. I mean 2012, 2013, forever, you know. So I just bought like a pre-con and just played it, and then like this dude had this like deck where like things are going face down, and I was like, face down? What is this? Like what is this? Yu-Gi-Oh now? What is going on, dude? I was like so upset. But like I get, you know, I'm a little bit much more involved with Magic now because I'll play Arena when I'm on tour, And I bring a deck with me on tour. I bring a commander deck and I bring a standard deck on tour with me. And if anyone wants to play ever, like, you just hit me up and I will play a game of Magic with you. I don't care. You know. And I've done that plenty of times. Just go to a pizza shop near the venue and just play a quick round or something.
You took some time away from Magic. There was about a 10-year gap. And then you said you started up and you kind of took a break again, but you've been full on since that second break, yeah?
Yeah. So, like, I'd say since, like, the pandemic, I kind of got back into it.
You're playing standard now. Are you okay? It's hasn't been great.
It's all right. It's okay. You know, it's fine. It's all right. I don't mind the Final Fantasy cards so much because, like, I'm not a big fan of, like, the Universes extended thing, whatever.
You're not excited about Magic the Gathering crossing over with fucking The Office?
Not one bit. No, not even remotely. I like Final Fantasy. I thought Final Fantasy was cool. I mean, I like Final Fantasy as a franchise. It's one of my favorite franchises. And I thought it was a really cool franchise for Magic the Gathering. I thought it was actually really kind of cool, you know. So I was excited about that. I wasn't really big on Lord of the Rings, but I do like the Lord of the Rings set. I remember that, and I remember that being kind of cool. And I was like, oh, this is actually cool, you know. But, like, Spider-Man, I just can't. I'm like, nah, you know. And I love Marvel comics and stuff like that. And I love DC comics. And I love, like, Dark Horse comics, stuff like that. I love all that stuff. Like, I think they're awesome. Like, they're really, really cool. I kind of like Dark Horse comics better, but shh. Yeah, like the real gritty stuff that, like, everyone's afraid.
We're
of.
metalheads.
Yeah. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Yeah, but it's like the lore of Magic the Gathering is already good enough, and I play video games mostly for the story and the lore and the gameplay mechanics. Those are the things that I like the most about it. You know, it's the same thing why D&D is awesome. It's the gameplay mechanics, it's the systems, and it's the lore. That's why it's a great franchise, right? I can't say that Pokemon has a great story, but I mean, like, Pokemon game mechanics actually it's actually good. It's actually really, really good. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really cool. Magic the Gathering is phenomenal. It's absolutely a phenomenal gameplay mechanics, absolutely phenomenal artwork, which is just you know, if I can't get music out of something, it's the artwork for me then. And I think the artwork's what made me get into Magic to begin with. But it's the same thing with, like, D&D is, like, the artwork is what's really cool. The lore is already good enough. I don't need these, like, ridiculous other things to try to, like, and, like, I get it. I understand. It's like, yeah, but it's like infinite universes, and, like, obviously they can jump and they're planeswalkers, so they go to different, like, parallel universes. I get that, but, like, it's annoying now at this point because it's like the time travel thing and, like, storytelling. You're like, oh, what a cop out, dude. Come on, man. Like,
some of them, too, you just look at and you're like, well, why is this happening? If someone puts an Optimus Prime card down on the table and you're like, what? Why is this here? Like,
are we adults? What are we doing? Like,
or there was, like, a SpongeBob one, wasn't there? Just like, what? Why is this happening? And, like, I understand. I mean, I guess for that one, the answer is for little kids, but I don't know. For some of these, like, I just look at it and say, why is this here?
No,
what are we doing?
But it's not. SpongeBob is 100% not for little kids. SpongeBob is for adults who watch SpongeBob as a little kid.
Okay.
Like,
fair.
The Furby
Yeah.
secret lair is for contrarians. Like, no Furby fan is like, oh man, I gotta supplement my Furby room with a couple of weird ass cards.
is there Furby lore? Is this a thing? Like,
I think that that's ultimately what a lot of, like, longtime Magic the Gathering players are really frustrated with, is that Magic the Gathering does have really substantial and, like, well considered lore, but then you get to things like Universes Beyond and you can see, like, the fingers of Hasbro meddling with what they're doing. And, you know, the fact that, like, Atlanta, Georgia is now a plane in the Magic universe with The Walking Dead, and, like, New York is now a plane in the Magic universe with Spider-Man and
I hadn't even considered
Teenage
that.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that hurts my feelings.
Magic the Gathering is obviously a very big part of what you do.
Yeah.
Do you find a preference between Paper Magic and Arena or online or any of the other kind of, like, computer clients? Or
Paper Magic, dude. Paper Magic all day long. You know why? Because, like, so much of what I do, even though it doesn't seem like it, but, like, being a musician, that's my job, right? My job is literally to be a musician. I write riffs for myself. I write riffs for my bands. I write riffs for other bands. I write riffs for other people, all kinds of stuff, right? I'm always doing that. That requires me to be on a computer all day long. When I'm practicing and learning songs, I'm on a computer all day long because as I'm learning the song, I'm, like, tabbing it out and writing it down. So that way I have, like, you know, and I have, like, these, like, schedules and systems, and I make, like, a syllabus of, like, songs for me to learn for, like, a tour and stuff like that. I'm extremely highly organized when it comes to learning this stuff because I hate learning songs. I hate it. I hate learning songs. I like writing songs more, but I hate learning songs. But I am just constantly learning songs because people be like, hey, I need a guitar player to fill in for me. I'm like, okay, I'll go do it. And I got to learn like 16 songs like in a couple weeks or something like that. You know, it's like that's a norm for me. So Paper Magic, because I get to play something that is fun to do and I don't have to look at a computer screen. That's what's great about it. But there's also another thing about that where I think it's like when you're just at a shop or you're hanging out with a friend and you're just playing, it feels a lot like the days of couch co-op games to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so much better. There is something extra that happens, and I don't know what it is, but there's something extra that happens when it's you and someone else and you're just sitting next to each other and you're playing a game. That same thing happens whenever you're playing Paper Magic, you and a dude, your buddy, just like across from each other, and you're just playing some games and you're having a good time. And like, I like that. I think that's really, really cool. There's a lot of fun to that to me. It's a reason for me to get out of the house and I don't have to look at a computer screen. I mean, it's win, 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 win. So Paper Magic.
It sounds like not just on a screen element, but also on a human interaction level, and also like maybe like a lack of a distraction. Like even if you're playing a game online, if it's Magic or whatever it is, sometimes you'll get pop-ups. You'll be, have something coming up on the side of the computer. You'll be looking at your phone. Whereas if you're playing Paper Magic, you're a little more focused, like on these cards on the table right here, that person directly across from me.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, actually. And it's interesting to note because like if you're playing Arena or you're playing Magic Gathering Online, right? It's like you play a match or something like that, and then you might open up a tab on your web browser and you might look at something else, something like that. Or you might be like, oh, let me just look up another deck or something like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? You're going to do that. You have access to it right there immediately. But whenever you're playing Paper Magic and you're at a store, what do you do in between your games? You stand and you watch someone else's game. You don't even touch your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of nice, dude. It's like one of the last few things you get to do where you just don't really find distractions and anything that's like digital around you. And it's just there's something there to that I think we're missing out on a lot of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like digital stuff. I think like things are really cool like this. I'm glad that we live in an age like where I can look up anything I want to and just check things out and have a conversation with you guys and stuff like that, like this. You know what I'm saying? This is awesome. This is really cool. This is really fun. But man, playing a game with your buds or people you don't even know and you just make friends like face to face and then not even touch your phone or anything like that. Man, that's awesome. That's just absolutely awesome, dude. You know?
Do you find maybe not your interest, but your initiative to play games, like play video games, has diminished as your success has increased? Because of that very reason?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much time. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like I literally write music and I'm doing that like all day long, every day, all day long. I'm writing or learning stuff all day, every day long. Now, my bass player in Cradle, Dougal, he does this thing where when it's wintertime, he has a video game and he basically goes, this is my winter break video game, because we don't really have much to do in winter. Everything is like spring, summer, fall for us, right? You're going to tour about 5 to 6 months out of the year. So when you're not doing that, you're writing music for the next album cycle. And you're doing additional things that you can do to make money, because being a musician is just not easy no matter what level you're at. You know what I'm saying? You have to be smart and you have to have like tons of other sources of income and stuff like that, you know? So, you know, every single one of us, we teach lessons. We write for other people. Every musician does this, every single one of them. If you have the time though, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing to do. Oh man, does it get depressing? It gets really, really bad. It gets really, really bad. You're like, just like, oh, what am I doing with my life? I'm just here. And like, there's been moments where I have volunteered at an animal shelter just to have something to do to get out of the house. And I would go walk dogs on to like, there's a bunch of waterfalls and trails here. So like, we're going to go see some waterfalls and trails. That's a really cool thing. That's fun. But then it's like, but dude, you know what? I got a backlog on my Steam library, just 1,000 games, dude. Maybe we'll just try to check some of those off or something, you know? So that's what Dougal will do. I'll do the same thing, where I try to have like something that I can go, this is my game that I'm going to play for this. There's a couple games that I do play also for just the simple, like, I can play this for 15 minutes and then stop and then go do something else. And it doesn't matter if I remember what I'm doing or not, you know? Those are typically like grand strategy games for some reason for me. Like, I love Stellaris. Stellaris is one of my favorites. But also, like, like a cool 2D side-scrolling game is another one of those that's like that for me. Like I'll do The Messenger is one of those also. Great soundtrack, really cool game. I love the 8-bit to 16-bit like time travel mechanic. I think that's like really brilliant. The soundtrack itself changes. And ironically, when Eric W. Brown was writing the music for that, I was the guitar tech for his band Necrogoblicon, and we were on Warped Tour in 2018. I remember him going in the back of the bus and just writing this music, and he let me play a early version of this game back then. Terry and Sylvain, they came out to the show in Toronto. They're from Montreal, but they came out and they were like, "Where do we know you from?" I was like, "I don't know. I play in this band called," at the time I played in a band called Eighth Realm. And like, "Oh my God, we love that band." So ironically, actually, there was like a music video that Eighth Realm came out with that have these dudes in masks. It's the Magician music video. In the video game that they did, Sea of Stars, there's these like villains that have like these masks. They're literally based off of the villains of our music video is actually what it is. Like, because they were huge fans of Aether Realm actually, and that was a really cool thing. You know, they're super nice, super cool guys. They're absolutely amazing. I love those dudes to death. They're really cool. But yeah, I remember I remember Eric working on this, and I remember like the way he programmed it was like insane to me. I've never seen anybody program music like that ever in my life. And it was programmed in the way that you would have done it back then, where it's like you have this like weird matrix like this and just like scrolls down like vertically like this. It's not left or right like you see MIDI nowadays or piano roll. It was like this like weird thing like this. And you had to like type in the note that you want. You had to type in the velocity, type in all this other extra information. And you have to do it like each note that way, each note individually, one by one like that. It takes forever to do, man. And just to be the way that Eric W. Brown even just like, he like didn't copy paste things for the 8-bit to 16-bit. He just rewrote everything again for 16-bit and changed things around a little bit here and there.
Yeah, he showed us the like Super MIDI pack, like SNES cartridge that he has, and
yeah, dude.
You know, again, I'm not a musician by any stretch, but like out of curiosity because it's free, I definitely downloaded Family Tracker, and I was like just looking at it. It's like composing music in Microsoft Excel. Like,
yeah, it really is. Yeah,
the least intuitive thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I have absolutely nothing but respect for Eric W. Brown and the work that he did. And he programmed the intro for
The Sun, the Moon, the Stars.
The Sun, the Moon, the Stars.
Yeah, and it was with his Game Boy also.
Right.
Like literally, we recorded it from his Game Boy. Like legitimately, it was his modified Game Boy with like a better audio output. I actually have a modified Game Boy also that has the same. I can't remember what it's called. I always say the wrong thing, and then Eric always corrects me every time he like sees like an interview pop up. He's like, "This is what it's called, dude." And it's like the 5th time now, and I'm like, I don't know why I can't remember it, but
oh, we're absolutely gonna tag him in this.
Yeah, the weird thing is the modified Game Boy is like the old DMG one, and it's next. It's like the different like kind of like case on it and stuff like that. It's like clear, and it has like a Sun Moon Star sigil on it. But I also have it next to my original one as well, which strangely still works, but it has like one line going through the screen or something like that. I thought about like maybe just fixing it one day, but I just haven't done that yet.
In an interview, you had said that beyond an unreleased project that you worked on when you were 16, that you've never worked on you've never composed anything for a video game. Have you ever had any interest in composing for a game, or are you strictly just trying to be a fan of the medium?
There actually was a moment when I did actually write something for a video game. But it never got finished. It was and it was like I don't know if this is still the way it is or not, but when I was like 16, 17 and up until I was like maybe 20 something, I remember this being a big thing. There was a big mod community for video games. And this was kind of like the way that you got into like the video game industry. You would basically like go to these like forums and you would hunt for somebody needing someone specific that they're working on this like mod for a video game or something like that. And there was one, and it was this first-person shooter, and it kind of reminded me of like Turok, is what it reminded me of. And so I wrote this like cave ambient sound kind of song for one of the levels they had, and then I was working on like something for like the main title screen. But I didn't hear back from the guy after I started sending him updates on the main title screen, and it just kind of just fizzled from there. So that's basically as far as I ever got with it. But yeah, no. I mean, I would 100% write music for video games. I feel like I'd be super, super good at it.
What kind of game ideally would you like to work on?
I do a lot of orchestration, stuff like that. I've done orchestrations for Cradle. I've done it for Eighth Realm also. I most of the time I've been writing music in that style since I was like 13, I think, just for funsies, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, it's like anything like that. But like also I have like, for me, it's like there's a pinnacle of video game music, and it's the boss battle. The boss battle is like the pinnacle. It's always like the best song is the boss battle theme. For some reason, like it's like, you know, you got to go hard on the boss battle theme. And there's like certain tropes to this that are very, very important, right? So I would be really down to do anything that's like kind of like orchestral sounding, or even I really, really want to get into doing like 8-bit stuff like that. Also like chiptune stuff. I'm really interested in that a lot. I just have no experience doing it, but for fun, I think I probably will one day just get into it and be like, Eric, what do I need? You know, and he'll probably tell me like, just get this and this. I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, man, I mean, like, it's so like ultimately I just want to write a song for like a boss that's like just this crushing thing. And I stream on Twitch, and I do this thing where if someone has enough channel points, they can turn in a reward, and I will write you like a 1-minute song. And I had a friend named Abe, and his tag on YouTube is Lurkins. He beat Hollow Knight and 100%ed it. Well, it's 112% actually to get all the achievements is 112%. He did that in 2 playthroughs, and it was his first 2 playthroughs ever of this game. One of those playthroughs is to not die, and also you have to beat it in 5 hours, less than 5 hours. And he did that on his New Game Plus mode. It was like, Abe is like ridiculous at video games. He's like the only dude I remember playing like Street Fighter with back in the day, because he was ridiculously good at it. And Abe would beat me most of the times, but like I used to be able to beat everybody of my friends when I was a kid, but like Abe would always beat me. You know, he was like super good. But like it was fun to play him in Street Fighter because it was always like this, like we knew what each other were going to do and stuff like that. We would see the setups and stuff like that. So it was always like a really good fight between us. It was like awesome to watch and to play. But yeah, like he's like, write me like a boss battle theme thing. And I did that. I wrote him like this really cool guitar boss battle theme that kind of has like a Street Fighter vibe to it, is what I was trying to go for, because that's kind of like what he really likes. He just likes like, you know, music like that. And it's like for him, it's like hardcore metal, like hardcore, and then just like video game music. Like that's all he listens to.
Hey man, same.
But like it's the thing is like boss battle themes have this like, they have this like trope. It's like you have this like despair section of the song itself where everything's just like chaotic and like spooky and despair sounding. You're like, oh dude, this is crushing. But like it slaps. It's just like, you're like, whoa, this is sick sounding. But then it has this section that kind of has this like, I call it the hope section of the song, where it's like, okay, maybe it's possible to beat this boss, because this part has this kind of like where everything just locks and it becomes very diatonic, is the term we would use in music, where it's like it's really in key and, you know, follows like very specifically like to the key itself. Whereas whenever something's like very chromatic or it follows like non-conventional harmony and stuff like that, it's not diatonic because it doesn't pertain to the key. But that always makes it sound very ominous, spooky, or even evil and diabolical to us. In a lot of weird ways, this same thing is how I approach writing songs for Cradle of Filth also. It's the same kind of thing. You have this like riff that's like the spooky riff, and it's like, or the mean aggressive riff, right? And you're like, oh dude, this rips, but like you're like, oh, it has like a very demonic sound to it or something like that. But then you got to have like the punk riff, and you got to have like okay, now we need the melodic section where it sounds like there's like this hopeful bit to the thing. It's a lot like a boss battle song to me, and I approach that the same way. But to me, like the art of boss battle music is like super inspiring, I think. And I think it's like the pinnacle of like video game music.
You contributed keyboard parts to the latest Cradle of Filth album, Screaming of the Valkyries.
Yes.
You had mentioned that you have kind of worked in this orchestral style since you were 13. When you compose things like this for Cradle of Filth, do you ever feel that video game OST influence seeping in, like direct lines like this feels like a Castlevania part? Or is music experience just something that kind of affects you in an omnidirectional way?
So Castlevania is always, I can show you like group chats of us talking about Castlevania between like Dougal, our bassist, we call him Dougal because his name's Daniel Firth. That's confusing because we have Danny Filth.
Yes.
We used to have a guy named Danny B. My name's Donny B. It was the worst. Anytime we had to cross the border, it was horrid, dude. But like, so we called Daniel Firth Dougal, and then Danny Filth we just called Danny or Dan. So we talk about Castlevania a lot, actually. Danny always has this really funny story about how he bought like the Castlevania OST years ago, and he like I don't remember what medium it was on. I don't remember if it was like a download or if it was a CD or something. I don't remember what it was, but like it was just MIDI, and so it played back the MIDI. But like because your computer doesn't know where it's supposed to assign the instrumentation to it, the default is always the MIDI piano. Like it just had like drums, all this stuff, like just doing like MIDI piano notes. It was just like the most chaotic thing you've ever heard in your life. And he's like, "What is going on?" Because he was really excited about it. He's like, "Oh, Castlevania soundtrack is amazing." He's really about that. We always reference that a lot. Actually, we talk about that a lot whenever we're writing songs like that. We're like, "Oh yeah, it has like a kind of Castlevania vibe to it." So there's a song called "Demagoguery" off of "Scream of the Valkyries." I wrote everything in that song. I wrote all the guitars. I wrote all the orchestrations. I wrote all the keys. I wrote all the bass parts. I wrote the skeleton idea for the drums. Martin obviously is a better drummer. He went and made them sound better than me because I'm not as good as him. But basically,
only so many things that you can do at once.
It's trying. But anyway, and then I have this guy named Sam who takes the MIDI that I have for all the orchestrations, and he basically just ran it through his plugins, and he added an organ like counter melody, and like that's basically all he did. And then that's what's on the album. That's it, right? The intro of that is very Castlevania vibes, 100%. Like it has this harpsichord playing. The harpsichord to me is like very Castlevania vibes. Organ, very Castlevania vibes. I think those are very just metal sounding instruments already. I always think back of like Ganon's Castle and like that motion. And that motion of that theme is called a chromatic median modulation. It just constantly moves up a third, right? And it moves up minor thirds, and then the last one's a major third, and that's what brings it back to the beginning like that. And it also moves a third. It's a cool cycle that you can do. So, and actually that's very black metal sounding, just to play like a minor chord, then go up a third and play a minor chord and go up a third and play super black metal sounding, right? But Ganon's organ theme from N64 does that. It's 100% that. It's black metal to the core, like without a shadow of doubt. If you were to put guitar to that sounds like a Cradle of Filth song. I don't really think Cradle of Filth is black metal, but it has that black metal vibe to it, has that influence, and then now it's with the organ, makes it feel that way. That feels like a Cradle song to me. But more importantly, if you listen to the song Malignant Perfection, there's a section in that song where it just goes to a keyboard drop. And then it goes into a blast beat, right? Now, structure-wise, this song is very similar to From the Cradle to the Enslave, actually. Very, very similar in structure-wise for that. It's a little different, but for the most part, it's kind of following that same formula of that. It has like a keyboard drop, goes to a blast beat, right? That's From the Cradle to the Enslave, just does the same exact thing. That was the idea for me on this one, was to be like that. But what do I put in that? And for me, I felt like the song is very diatonic sounding. It doesn't really deviate much from being in key. It has some key changes for different sections, but each of those sections is very locked to being in this specific scale. And to me, that is this juxtaposition of sane versus insane, right? It's kind of like the more chromatic and wild it gets, the more maddening it sounds. My brain immediately starts thinking, you know what? Kefka, Final Fantasy VI. There's a song called Dancing Mad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Banger.
All-time favorite.
Banger song, dude. Fuck, it rules, man, right?
So good.
But even just Kefka's theme itself, Kefka's theme automatically just on its own, even just with the Super Nintendo sounds, it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, actually, the coolest thing, though, is if you ever played Final Fantasy 14, I think? That's the MMO one. And there's like a boss MMO raid that you have to fight, like you have to fight Kefka, and it plays his theme, and it is like the best version of this theme I've ever heard in my life. It's so good. It's absolutely amazing. Final Fantasy 14's soundtrack is so insanely good because it brings back themes from other Final Fantasy games, and it does them the proper justice you want it to do. Like, it's so good. They even had Nobuo Uematsu came out and like even wrote a couple songs for it because he's retired now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't do anything anymore. So there's a section where if you listen to this keyboard drop, right, it goes chorus and then it goes keyboard drop and then blast beat. That keyboard drop, if you listen to it and you go listen to Kefka's theme, you will hear what I was trying to go for with this. You will hear that kind of like ping-pongy motion. It has a weird chord progression that is different, but like it has that same kind of like twisted, like you're losing your mind kind of sound to it. I even, when we were writing this song, and what we do is I make like a notepad of like different sections, and I say, this is this part, this is like the verses, the chorus. Here's the keyboard drop, and then I wrote in quotations, "Dancing Mad" is what I wrote. This is so heavily influenced by it. Like, if you go listen to those two side by side, you'd be like, oh, dude, okay, I get it. You can see what I was trying to go for with that. I want it to sound very much like Kefka's theme. So it has that vibe to it. So 100% to answer your question, and yes. Video game music 100% inspires me the way that I write so much. Like absolutely so much, dude.
What would you say are the top 5 in terms of soundtracks or even composers that you think are the most influential on your style?
Okay, you know what's really, really cool is one of the things that I like the most is I like the soundtrack from Super Mario World the most. This is one of my most favorite soundtracks because it is absolutely brilliant. This is a really funny thing that I don't think a lot of people ever talk about, and someone needs to make this YouTube video because I'm terrible at editing video. I could talk about this, but like I can't edit video, you know what I'm saying? But like that entire game uses one theme. It uses the same melody line in every single song. Every single song has that same melody line. It's that bum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. That melody line is also in the castle. It's like or like when you're underground. It's a brilliant study on what's called reharmonization. And that's the idea where you can take like this melody line and you can change the chords underneath that melody line to change the way that feels, but also it changes not just the way it feels, but like it just, everything about it just feels like it's not even recognizable at that point anymore. But I love it because to me, it's kind of like a Gary Oldman of like, of like melody lines. You're like, oh wait, is that the melody line? You're like, oh wow, I didn't recognize it. You know, it's literally like that.
I was gonna say this almost sounds like the Transylvanian Hunger of video games.
That's a good one. But see, that Koji Kondo is brilliant because what he did here is he said, I wrote too much music for Super Mario Brothers 3. I'm gonna write as many songs as possible with as few melody lines as humanly possible, and it's like literally just every song is just the one same melodic line. I'm like, that is absolutely brilliant. Like it's just unbelievable how good that is, right? Anything that's Nobuo Uematsu is for me like top tier. Like especially when it comes to like battle music. Like you go into a battle and it's just like the sound of that. It's just like I don't know. Every single one of those I just always like it. There's not one battle song that he's done for a Final Fantasy like whatever that I just don't like. I like them all. I think they're amazing. And he's really good also. There's like this specific melody line that he uses a lot. There's like an interval between these two notes that he uses a lot. It's a major seventh is a very common one that Nobuo Uematsu uses a lot. It's literally like in like 6, 7, and 8. It's like it's in there. There's a song that has that line in there. It's like it's kind of interesting. When he does like a piano song, oh dude, it hits hard, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the Xanarkin one, God, it's stupid good. Tifa's theme, crazy good. It just hits you hard, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, wow, that's beautiful. What in the world? Eyes on You from Final Fantasy 8, same thing. Hits hard. Right, he uses that melody line a lot. Yeah, that one's amazing, dude. That one's so good. Like,
and I know it's kind of like in the plot of the game, it's meant to be kind of that like slow, resounding, emotive song. And the thing is, it absolutely works. And you could argue that like, oh, well, it's kind of a setup and you're supposed to feel that way. But man, the music totally realizes that. That makes that happen.
It does. Yeah, and it's a leitmotif also because you hear it anytime there's like anything that has to do with like Renoa's character. Like, for instance, like Laguna is like really in love with like that piano player. And I can't remember her name right now at the time, but that's Renoa's mom. Lore-wise, right? She's the one that apparently writes the song in the game, right? And the song "Eyes on Me" is about Laguna just like looking at her all the time, which in hindsight now sounds creepy, but but you gotta remember this is 1998 and this is Final Fantasy, okay? But it's cool because that's a leitmotif. Anytime you have that character, it plays this theme or variation of that theme that kind of like instills that, and then when you finally hear the song itself, actually you're like, wait. Why is this so nostalgic to me? Well, yeah, because you've only been like conditioned to hear it a billion times with the entire storyline. But same thing with Star Wars. Star Wars does leitmotifs really, really well. Also, you know what I'm saying? You have the Force theme. Luke goes staring at two suns and is playing the Force theme, and then it's like, oh, okay. But you hear that anytime Luke does anything cool with the Force and he realizes his powers. Vader has a theme. There's the Imperial March. Anytime you hear him walking around strutting his stuff, it's just like that rhythmic pulse to it. Cynthia's theme, Pokemon, dude. Banger, man. Super good. Hollow Knight, Hornet, even Silksong, Widow. I think Widow might be better than the Hornet one. Hornet one's really good, but like Widow might even be better. But it might be better because of my like, oh, it sounds very chaotic and like you know, like it's really really good. Hollow Knight's a really good soundtrack. Super Meat Boy actually had a really good one too. Actually, what was that guy's name? Danny something. Jeremy Soule did Oblivion and like Skyrim. What's really really cool about that is there's not really like themes or leitmotifs in that, but it's all about this like surreal sounding vibe to it that I kind of just really really like a lot, you know. It's one of those it's one of the few times where I go, oh, I love it because of the atmosphere, you know. I don't really say that often being a guitar player because I'm like, oh, it rips, dude. That riff goes hard, man. Oh, that solo shreds, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's never the atmosphere for me. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't even like black metal, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like it's just, man, dude, like the every theme that like comes out of like Jeremy Soule for that is like it's good, you know what I'm saying? Like the Dovahkiin theme is cool because it reprises a theme from Oblivion. Also, or no, from Morrowind. That's what it was. Yeah, from Morrowind initially. But that theme's been sticking around for a while. Ironically, that theme is strangely very, very, very similar to the Final Fantasy VI theme that plays in the beginning when you're like with the Magitech and you're like walking through the snow towards Nibelheim. Wasn't it? No, it wasn't that Nibelheim. What's the name of the city, the town?
Narsh.
Gosh, I can't remember now. Narsh. That's it. Narsh. Yeah. Yeah, like that theme is intervallically similar. Actually, it's really kind of cool. I'm really into this, where I like to listen to different things, like different songs like that, and find out these structures of how they operate and work. And like I look at like the distances from each note, and then I start finding these like weird similarities between like other musicians that like have things like this. But I'm like, oh wait, this person also does video game music too. Like, obviously, he was listening to this. There's no way you weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like Final Fantasy VI soundtracks. S-tiered in my opinion. It's super good, man. Like, and I'm not sure. I always juggle with this because I always feel like to me it's my favorite Final Fantasy, and I don't know if that's nostalgia or if it legitimately is the best Final Fantasy. I don't know. I feel like it's the best one, but like at the same time, it's like when I go back and I play it, I'm like, is this the best one? Like, but then I gotta go, wait. I remember like back in the day, this was like super realistic to me. You know what I'm saying? Like this was like super realistic.
It's one that I feel like it's very easy to make the case on why it is the best, you know, and nostalgia admitted on those things. But I think it's easy that you could make that case quickly. Whereas, like, I've never met anyone arguing that, I don't know, the original version of Final Fantasy II was the best in the franchise. Like, you know, like, nobody's ever said that.
Some contrarian's going to leave that in the
Yeah,
comments.
of course.
now.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 2 for life. I'll die on that hill. I have Final Fantasy 1 on my NES still, but like that game's rough to play, man. I gotta be honest with you. It's a grind fest, dude.
It's real grindy, yeah. Especially that marsh cave in the beginning. You're just gonna die over and over and over again.
Dude, yeah, that is brutal, and it's just like every single fight just takes too long in the combat. That it's just ridiculous. I think there's a thing though that I think, and this is probably a spicy take, but my spicy hot take on Final Fantasy is that there's a problem with Final Fantasy that I think actually makes 6, 7, and 8 the worst Final Fantasy games. And I know. Ooh, yeah, I see the eyebrows. I see that. Everyone's like, dude, there's no way. But listen, here's the thing. 9 might be better because it fixes a problem that I have with 6, 7, and 8. And don't get me wrong, I literally just said 6 is my favorite one, okay? But there's a problem with 6, 7, and 8 that I have, and it's the problem that every character can do everything. That's the problem that I have with it. You know what I'm saying? I think it undermines the combat system and the mechanics when every character can do everything. The junction system is a prime example of that just being like absolutely stupid as hell. Don't get me wrong, I love the junction system. Final Fantasy 8, I love because of how you can break it with the junction system. I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. Perfection to me. Because it's a lesson in min-max building. You know what I'm saying? Don't level up in that game. Just draw and get items to get like ridiculously broken spells and junction to your strength and just press X to win. But like like 6 does this also, where like, you know, if you just spend enough time, like everyone can learn every spell. The spells are not really that great though in that game anyway, though. You know what I'm saying?
No. See, I'm not having this. No way. Because like, no. Because
7 is materia. Everyone can play. Everyone can do everything. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Minus the limits, yeah. But no, in 6, like, other than Go-Go, who can, you know, do everything that all the other characters can, like nobody else can do a blitz. Nobody else can do sword tech.
That's the thing, is like the magic is the thing that like makes everyone be able to do everything, but like that's the thing about 6 that saves it for me is the techniques is like the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
And the weird thing about it is the techniques are like significantly better than the spells. So like
Yeah.
why would you ever use the spells, you know?
Right, just
Like, I
focus
get
on
that,
using
yeah.
those blitzes or the tools or whatever else.
Yeah, the blitz are broken, dude, like that, and the chainsaw, like Egger's, that's just
Yeah,
crack,
especially
man, you know
how
what I'm saying?
early
Like,
you can get it, yeah.
yeah, there's no reason to not just do that all the time. Like it never fails you. It's like beautiful. It's perfection. So good. Cracked. It's so broke. But like 9 was like, this person does magic because they look like they do magic. You're like, you look at, yeah, Evie's obviously a black mage. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this dude's obviously the thief. This dude's obviously like the tanky build guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like every character is like specifically their thing. So like, there's a reason to have like specific characters in your party and you get attached to those characters, right? Versus like Final Fantasy 7 and 8, it's like I'm just going to use the ones that I think are the best blitzes or the best like limit breaks. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there's no reason to like have the spellcaster at all, you know, unless
Or
you need to heal.
if you're in middle school and you're playing Final Fantasy 7 for the first time and you're just an edgy teenager and you're like, I'm going to run Red 13 and Vincent Valentine because they look the coolest. Like, it's effectively just what skin do you like the best?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always like Zell and Irvine for me in Final Fantasy 8. But like I think my first time I ever played it, I always had Renoa in the party because I'm like, you got to have Renoa because like that's the main character and Squall's the main character. You got to have the main characters. I mean, I was dumb. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter if you have them. You could have anyone and they could do the same thing. It didn't matter. The only thing that is different at this point for me now when I play Final Fantasy 8, the only thing I'm deciding now is when I push X to win, whose attack animation is the fastest? I'm trying to get through this game, you know.
You mentioned something that caught my ear, though, which was that when we were younger, it felt so much more real. You had mentioned that you like games that have a retro aesthetic that aren't necessarily retro, like, you know, Messenger being a great example. Do you find that your immersion has kind of diminished as you've gotten older? What to you kind of diminishes that reality in these games?
I'll tell you what ruins the immersion for me 100% in a video game. And I think everyone's going to hate me for this because I really want to like this game a lot, but I really can't. And it's because of the game mechanics. It's really the battle mechanics of this game. It's not so much the story, the lore. The story or the lore of this game is super good. I highly recommend it to anybody, but if you're going into it thinking that you're going to have a great time with its battle mechanics, I think some people will be like, they're great. And I'm like, they're not. They're terrible. Whatever. And it's Witcher 3. I'm sorry. I think the fight mechanics of Witcher 3 is just ridiculous. I don't understand the need for you to like push a button and then like it takes you like a second or two before you actually hit something or spin around and then hit something. Like it feels like I'm playing Soul Calibur and I'm mashing buttons and then Maxie's just out of control. That's what it feels like to me. And I just I can't handle that. Okay. I'm sorry, dude. It's like, it just bothers me, man. I just want you to push the button. I want you to swing and hit the thing. And like, that's what I want. I just want that. Okay. So probably bad controls is what ruins the immersion for me. I think, you know, I find that I could probably get immersed pretty easily in anything that is like video game wise because stories are just like super important to me and storytelling is super important to me. I mean, I was an English minor in college and I studied music composition and music theory. I'm a nerd to the core, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love all kinds of nerdy, dumb things. I'm not good at all the nerdy, dumb things, but I like them, you know? But like, I think like, that's probably what ruins it for me the most, honestly. It's just like a bad control that like I push a button, it just doesn't really feel as responsive. Like, you remember like the Wii coming out with like the motion control thing, and I tried playing like Zelda Skyward Sword, and it was just like, I was just not having that. I was like, dude, let me just go buy Skyward Sword on something else.
Still never finished it on the Wii. Just can't do it.
Same.
Can't.
Same.
Just don't care.
Yeah, it ruins it, right?
Just give me normal buttons. Like I thought this worked pretty well for decades. Can I just do that again? Like
Skyward Sword was better than Twilight Princess was on the Wii because they had like the updated like Wiimote that like had like a more 1-to-1 vibe to it. But like whereas Twilight Princess was like you had to like do this, and then there was like a little latency, and then he'd swing, and I was like, God, this sucks, dude. Like, and also Link was right-handed in that, and that just bothered me because like Link's always left-handed. Okay, like I'm sorry, like, that just really annoyed me. That's just such a petty thing. But man, that really just like I was like, something's not right here. This seems wrong.
By the time this interview goes up, it will be very close to Christmas. What is the second game that you're going to be getting this year? What is the game you're looking forward to?
Hey mom, what game am I getting for this year? What comes out near Christmas actually? I have no idea. I don't wait till Christmas anymore. I either spend my PDs on Magic the Gathering cards or a video game, you know. That's where I'm at with my life right now.
What's at the top of the backlog then? What's like, oh, as soon as I can cut in a few hours, I'm going to.
That's we're gonna have to hang on. We're gonna have to turn Steam on for that one. We're gonna have to take a quick little look here, a little look see. What do we got in the backlog here? What am I trying to play? Oh, you know what? I haven't played that I really want to play that I need to be playing is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I never did finish that. I played a little bit of it. I never finished Baldur's Gate 3 either. I need to do that.
Well, there goes about 100 hours.
Yeah, right. Like it's like the backlog is pretty rough, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh gosh, dude. Oh, see, but then do I just want to play Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 all the way through? I did that. That's the first time I ever played. I bought 1 and 2, and I played 1, and then I played 2. I remember my friend playing 1, and I thought it was cool. And I'm a big sci-fi nerd, actually. I'm more into sci-fi than I'm into fantasy. So I played 1, 2, and then 3 had just come out. So I went and bought 3, and then played that one. So I could just go through that again. That'd be cool. There's a game called Death's Door. It's a really cool game. I haven't finished that one. I need to finish that. I always keep trying to play it. Terry recommended Infernax to me. I've never played that actually. I hear that's really good, and I hear the soundtrack's awesome too. I usually agree with him on his ideas of good soundtracks. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would just do one of those. Everything else I see, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do that. Unless something cooler comes out, I'm probably just going to try to do Baldur's Gate 3 this winter. Oh, you know what, though? I still need to finish Silk Song, actually. I am playing that right now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and Pokemon Za.
Clearly, music and video games has had a profound impact, but beyond that, you're able to really eloquently point out specific parts of video game music and their influence on you. What lessons do you think that the metal community could learn from video game soundtracks that they could apply to their work?
Yeah, okay. That's a really crazy good question that I am not prepared for, but I'm going to try my best.
We're just a couple nerds, man. We're not.
Wow. Video game music has kind of always been metal to me. I think one of the most metal video game soundtracks of all time is Mega Man 2. It just sounds like Iron Maiden. Like it just rips, dude. It's just so good. Really good melody lines. It's got the galloping rhythm. Everything's like kind of like an earworm. It kind of gets stuck in your head too. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like these are all things I think metal music is supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be all these things where it's like, it's just inherently, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's like absolutely just like brutal, it's fun. It's absolutely fun just to hear like a slam track and you're just like, and you get stank face. That's fun, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. There's a reason why we get that face. We're like, oh, dude, you're like, yeah, that's sick, man. Like, oh, that's awesome. It's the I don't know what lesson there is in that. You know what I'm saying? But I just know that like there's a lot of things there that like they just parallel so much to each other. Maybe it's the lesson just to be cool and have fun. Don't be a gatekeeper. Maybe that's the lesson.
As Mike mentioned, we are not exactly experts in terms of musical terminology and like, you know, the complex verbiage of this. But what I can say is that I've played a lot of Mega Man and a lot of Final Fantasy. When you talk about some of those things that you don't get tired of, even when you repeat that level for the 30th time in Mega Man, you're still like, yeah, this music rules.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Or how you
the
talked
Dr.
about
Wily theme.
Or like with Nobuo Uematsu, like you probably spend, if you're going to play Final Fantasy VI and not like, you know, somebody sprinting through it, you're going to spend dozens of hours listening to that battle theme, you know? And somehow you never get sick of it. It's still great 30 hours into that game. And so I don't know how that applies to metal, but for some of these soundtracks, it's kind of amazing they were able to do that, you know?
I returned to the Katamari Damacy soundtrack. Whole cloth, not a metal record by any means. You listen to that opening track of just You have that in your head forever. Like it lives in your head rent free. And the hooks of something like that, you know, maybe not the most cult black metal record, maybe not the most underground grindcore record that you can find, but I think that the hooks that you can get from some of these soundtracks are fully applicable to the mentality, even if not technicality, but like just the approach of some of the best metal records that you can think of.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the melody line it sticks with you, right? And it's fun because of that. You know, I think there's fun to be had in like a grindcore song for somebody because
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like someone just hears that and like, yeah, I kind of like that, man. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. My bassist Dougal, he says this all the time. He just says, "Well, I've had my fun, and that's all that matters." And I think that's probably the best thing to be said ever. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's more to him saying that all the time to me now, and I just, you know, come to the realization of it in this very instant that like the lesson to take from this is just shut up and have fun. Cool.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the lesson is just to have more fun.
Yeah, just have more fun, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, music's supposed to be fun. Video games supposed to be fun. That's it. There you go.